Mr. President, Excellencies, respected partners, respected guests, and I want to call out the women and youth leaders joining us today. Assalamu alaikum. I express my gratitude and my recognition for all you do, and I do this on behalf of the entire Oxfam family across the world. I thank you, Mr. President, for joining us today. It is our honor. And I must tell you right from the start that it is incredibly humbling and inspiring to witness the achievements that have been shared today. These can seem like challenging times for our world, and they are. We face a crisis of inequality worse than in 100 years, an existential climate crisis, colonial behavior from many rich countries, and a pushback against the rights of women and girls the world over. In fact, the World Economic Forum estimates that it will take 135 years at current rates to reach gender equality. If that continues, none of us here today will live to see that. COVID-19 has set it back by a generation. So it can be easy to lose hope, but I do not. How can I? Just look at women's rights. We have made such progress this past century. In past times, these gains would have been unthinkable. And just look at the effort that you have made. By you, I mean our partners and friends and supportive donors of Oxfam in Pakistan, together with our staff, over an incredible 50 years, spanning over 70 districts. That, for me, is where the promise of an equal future lies. That promise of an equal future is found in this amazing network that you have created. 350,000 change makers across Pakistan to push for gender equality. That has been showcased as an example of best practice by the World Bank. And honestly, 350,000 change makers is an amazing force. That promise is found in our collective work to transform women and girls' economic opportunities, including working with the most marginalized women, including working with the survivors of forced child marriage. That is the solidarity of the Oxfam that must always define us. That promise is also seen where we've worked together to increase women's representation in the legal and political worlds, ensuring women can be heard instead of silenced in decision-making. And it is found in the campaigns like Yane Nadu and our Enough campaign that take on gender-based violence and discrimination. Together, we've helped create gender-based violence courts. We've helped push for laws like the Workplace Harassment Act of 2010. And together, we've helped promote positive social norms. I know from my own work in Colombia that just as important as taking on the formal laws, it is addressing all those informal laws that shape our society and how we behave. So first today, I celebrate that incredible work that we have achieved together to help improve the lives of women. Second, I wish to recognize the government of Pakistan for so often being a willing partner and for offering many examples of good practice, such as the EHSAS program, such as the long-awaited law on domestic violence in the KP, such as your work to boost the political representation of women. I was particularly impressed and pleased to hear about the first woman on the Supreme Court bench. But we would not be Oxfam if we didn't encourage you, even urge you to go far further. For we have so far to go on issues from pervasive gender-based violence to painfully the girls out of school across the nation, as the UN has shown. We know of so many brilliant Pakistani women leaders across fields from science to human rights to technology. But let us imagine how many could follow in their footsteps if every girl, no matter how rich or poor, could access good quality education and choose their own destiny. Which leads me to my final point. So let us celebrate today, but wake up tomorrow ready to strive together for all we haven't achieved yet. Through women's rights, we have made huge progress in the past century. But the menace of extreme economic inequality that has risen during the pandemic is now taking us backwards. So let's strive together for positive changes, to change harmful informal and formal laws, to tackle the root causes of women's disempowerment, to recognize, reduce, and redistribute the billions of hours of care work that women do for free, without which our societies would simply collapse. And let's make the connections to build economies based on progressive taxation that funds public health and education so no woman or girl is denied their rights. Let's end privatization and let's invest in decent work and decarbonize our economies. These are all vital to achieve women's rights. We've got so much to fight for. In days ahead, respected guests, let us partner, hold hands, and strive together behind a bold vision, one that's bigger than any one of our institutions, for a future that is equal. Thank you again, Mr. President. Thank you, friends.